This is a 1968 Chevrolet Chevelle, finished in candy apple red. Chevelles were very popular with the muscle car fans back in the 60s and 70s for their striking good looks and powerful engines. And this beauty lives up to that reputation with its 383 cubic inch V8 engine that cranks out almost 600 horsepower. It has been owned by the same family for almost 20 years, during which time it has been lovingly restored in resto-mod fashion. That's the practice of taking the best original features of a car and adding modern parts to achieve an improved, more powerful, and dependable car. It attracts a lot of attention, especially from the police. But luckily its owner, Brian Godden, has never gotten a ticket. Today we'll spend time cruising the streets of St. Pete with Brian in his Chevelle in this episode of Christians in Cars Getting Coffee.
That thing.
Yeah. I think I'll choose a Chevelle over a Camaro. How you doing, Brian? Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you.
And thank you for doing this, dude.
Yeah, no problem, man. Anytime. Any chance I get to hang out with you.
Same here, man. This is a beautiful car.
Thank you. Thank you.
This, you said, how many?
Yeah, almost 600 horsepower.
I bet it's pretty easy to burn out.
Yeah, maybe we'll give it a shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just for sake of video. So, confession time.
Yeah.
How many tickets?
No tickets, man. I've only got 600 miles on it.
Wow. Well, let's see if we can.
Let's get one today.
Yeah, let's see if we can get one today.
You got it, buddy.
That'd be bad footage for Christians in Cars getting coffee, get pulled over.
Well, we could ask for forgiveness after.
There you go. A little bit of power there.
A little bit. It's fun. See, the key to no tickets is just knowing where the cops are.
That's right.
Or they're not, yeah.
And we, as you're watching this video, we're not by any means recommending that you know where the cops are.
All right, don't do this at home.
This speed limit all the time. So Brian, tell me, how did you and Haley, how did you guys find radios?
But 18 years ago, we had our first kid, and I remember just praying to God and telling God, basically begging him for a healthy kid. And I promised him at the time that if I had a healthy kid, I'd bring my family to church. That was all I could do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then unfortunately, that went stale. We had a healthy kid, and everything worked out. Beautiful family, and I kind of just forgot my promise. Didn't uphold my end of the bargain.
Yeah.
And it would come and go. I'd have spurts.
Yeah.
Motivation every once in a while and try to get into church. And so, me and Haley and friends of ours, Jimmy and Carly, we're all hanging out, and we kind of went from the politics talks to the religion talks, and to all of those things, and so we're discussing churches, and to hear Jimmy's passion about Radius Church.
Wow.
And the thing that triggered me was the relationship with Jesus. And I thought to myself, like, everything that I've ever done in the past wasn't based on a relationship with Jesus. It was based on more of just me behaving the best I could.
Wow.
And so it's like word of mouth is the best advertising.
Yeah.
As passionate as he was about it, figured I had to give it a shot.
Yeah.
And I have to say you did a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3.5 years later almost. Well, you guys came early on, right?
Yeah.
Like the second and third Sunday. I feel like it was early that you started coming.
thing was everybody enjoyed it. You know, it wasn't just me trying to convince everybody to go to church or vice versa. You know, it was just a mutual thing. That's what we wanted to do.
That's awesome, man. Well, we are so glad that you guys did found a church home. We love having you guys part of Radiant, man.
Well, us too, and it's the journey has gotten brighter ever since. I mean, it's
That's
just
awesome.
It seems like the more I dig into everything, and the more I go to church, and the more I read the Bible, it's just like it's like a vacuum. The more I want to know.
Yeah. Riding this car just puts a smile on my face.
Me too. It's like you can't help but smile driving this car. Makes you feel like a little kid again.
Well, Brian, thanks for meeting us here, man. Great time in the car. Biff Burgers. You've been
Thanks
here
for
before,
having
man?
Yeah, we used to come here when I was a kid. Yeah, I used to come often with my parents, almost not every Friday, but
Yeah.
a couple Fridays a month anyway.
They have car shows here, don't
They used
they?
to have car shows, all the old
I think
cars.
they still do. You should bring your car out here, man.
Nah, I don't show it off too much.
Yeah, no, well,
I keep it in the garage.
I
and,
hear you, man.
Drive it around every once in a while.
See, this whole video is really about your journey with God and where He met you in the journey. And it seems like God first kind of met you, not first met you, but really one of those encounters was finding Radius, some place that you could really grow and go. Tell me another time, or you felt like God's been in your journey, Brian.
You know, I really don't have like a big story. Like there wasn't this like wow moment as far as me getting into it. I feel when I look back at my life now, I feel like He's always been there.
Yeah, that's good.
And I kind of feel like almost every decision that I've made has worked out. Like, it sounds cliche, but like it was God's plan.
Yeah.
Most recently, and probably the most evident way for me to where I can actually, and I tell the story often enough to where we have our own business, and it got to the point where the business was overwhelming, and I had a conversation with Haley that we either need to dial it back or we need to hire somebody, and I just didn't really know which way to go about it, and I've always thanked God and for my blessings and for everything that He's done for me, and I see it, and I know that it could all be taken away, in the next moment.
Yeah.
So I'm very thankful for everything that we have, and when I had that conversation with her, it was like late one night, and then the next day we're hanging out with some friends of ours, and we came across this guy, a mutual friend, that he needed a job. And it was like, there was no stress because he didn't have a job. He needed a job.
Right.
And it was like, I'm not pulling anybody from the job. And it just
was like perfect.
It just happened. It fell right in line. So we had a conversation about it one night. The next day, there was somebody that started working for us. And he started working for us, and business more than doubled.
Wow.
Just because of what he was doing for us.
So you felt like in your journey with God, He just walked beside. It's really cool that you say that. Sometimes we have big moments where God encounters us. Other times we also just realize that God walked with us every day in our journey.
Yeah.
And as we're depending on Him, He always seems to come at the right moment and line things up. And if you're looking for it, like you said, it was perfect. It was perfect timing. That was God in that moment. That's really cool, man.
Yeah, and there's been multiple instances, since.
Yeah.
And it even boils down to us needing somebody else. And I was talking to Mike, and no exaggeration, it was like 7 o'clock at night. Me and Mike were having a conversation, and
Mike's your kind of
Mike is he's like our main salesperson right now, so our main project manager. But I was having a conversation with Mike and saying, it'd really be neat if we buy all of our stuff from like a main supply store. So the guy that managed the main supply store, it would be neat if we had somebody like that working for us because of how much he knows and the guy's personality, and it would just be an easy fit.
Yeah.
So we were discussing that like 7:30 at night, 7 o'clock the next morning, he gives me a call and he goes, guess what? Phil needs a job. And this is a guy that managed this place for 20-something years.
Wow.
And it was just,
Wow.
you know,
So
you prayed about it and I got an answer. And it was just so...
So in your journey, man, God's just been very evident along the way, which is cool. How's that make you feel? Does that encourage you? Does that give you peace?
It makes me feel cared for. It makes me feel... you know how, like, you say you surrender and then everything's going to be taken care of.
Yeah.
It made me feel like surrendering.
That's awesome.
It made me feel like it didn't matter what happened.
Yeah. That's awesome. Brian, that's a great story, man. That's so good. I love that. Just you sharing your story with us. Thank you. Because God is with us along the journey all the time. Sometimes we don't hear him. Maybe we think he's not there, but he's always walking beside us. And I appreciate you sharing that today and helping us remind us of that. Appreciate the good cup of coffee.
Cheers.
And a great car. Yes, sir, man.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.